You're sitting in a coffee shop, nursing the same black coffee for the last hour. A couple at the next table is loudly debating whether to lease a new Porsche Macan or a BMW X5. You overhear the words monthly payment, depreciation, and making a statement. You just smile and turn a page in your paperback. That couple would walk right past you without a second thought. You, in the plain jacket, with the 10-year-old car parked down the street. But what they don't know is that your bookkeeper, an equally invisible man named Arthur, sent you an encrypted email this morning. You quietly crossed the 9-figure mark. You are that person. And this is the playbook. Not a story about a lottery ticket or a lucky IPO, but a deep dive into the architecture of your invisible wealth. This is the manual for how you built a $100 million empire that nobody knows about, and the step-by-step account of the rules you followed to build and protect it. You learned a truth that few ever grasp. The loudest people in the room are usually the most broke. True power, true freedom, is silent. You figured out that the goal was never to look rich. That was the whole point. Number 1, the first rule, master the art of invisibility. It's Saturday afternoon at a neighborhood barbecue. Your friend, Mark, is proudly holding court by his brand new Audi, explaining the virtues of its German engineering. He claps you on the shoulder. When are you finally going to get rid of that old Toyota, man? You work so hard. You deserve something nice. You just laugh. She's never let me down. You don't explain that the Toyota is invisible, that it has never once attracted the wrong kind of attention. It's a tool, not a trophy. Your life is a carefully constructed masterpiece of normal. The house you and your partner Sarah chose is in a respectable but unremarkable suburb, the kind of place with good schools and quiet streets. It's a home, not a statement. Your wardrobe is full of comfortable, durable clothes chosen for function, not for the logo on the chest. This exterior is your most valuable asset. It's a shield. While Mark is paying a premium on his car, his clothes, and his house to signal his status, you and Sarah are funneling every spare dollar into a completely different universe, a silent, parallel financial world that exists only on your encrypted spreadsheets. You learned early on that visibility is a tax. It's a tax on your time, your peace of mind, and your bank account. The second you look wealthy, the world lines up to take a piece of it. Invisibility, you discovered, is the ultimate luxury. It gives you the freedom to make decisions based on logic and strategy, not ego or social pressure. You're not trying to win the conversation at Mark's barbecue. You're trying to win at life. While everyone else is playing the game of looking rich, you're playing the game of being rich. And the first rule of that game is that nobody knows you're even playing. Number 2, the second rule, start with ugly, unloved cash flow. Your journey didn't start with a world-changing idea. It started with a simple, almost painfully obvious choice: to live far, far below your means. This wasn't a time of miserable sacrifice. It was a period of strategic accumulation. You and Sarah treated your future selves as the most important bill to pay. The second your paychecks hit, a huge chunk was automatically swept away, long before you were ever tempted to touch it. This discipline created your seed capital, and with it, you didn't buy a hot tech stock. You bought something ugly. You still remember meeting Sal. He was a 70-year-old man with tired eyes and stained overalls, looking to sell his small vending machine route. "You're putting your money into that?" Mark had asked with a hint of pity. But you saw something he didn't. "People will always pay $1 for a cold soda on a hot day, kid," Sal had told you, handing over a ring of keys. "It's not sexy. It's just cash in a box." The first few weekends were brutal. You and Sarah spent hours in your garage, learning the surprisingly complex world of snack logistics, getting grease on your clothes. At the end of the first month, you sat on your living room floor, surrounded by piles of quarters and wrinkled dollar bills. It wasn't a fortune, but as you counted it, you both realized what it was: proof of concept, money that worked for you around the clock, without your ego or constant attention. Your next move was even grittier: a small, grimy laundromat in a part of town that was more practical than prestigious. People will always need clean clothes. You didn't see the grime. You saw the non-negotiable cash flow in every household's budget. The path to immense wealth, you learned, is often paved with boring. Number 3, the third rule, the boring business compounding machine. That first stream of ugly cash flow changed the game, but the critical step was what you and Sarah did next. You didn't use the profits to get a new car. You recycled every single dollar. The vending machine route grew from Sal's 20 machines to 40, then 100. You weren't just stocking snacks, you were running a decentralized retail network. The single laundromat became 2, then 4. Sarah spearheaded the project, reinvesting profits into new, efficient machines that took mobile payments. She had Wi-Fi installed and gave the places a clean coat of paint. You weren't just laundromat owners, you were building a portfolio of essential service hubs. One evening, staring at a spreadsheet, Sarah pointed to the surging cash flow. "It's time," she said. You both knew what she meant. You leveled up to the king of boring, scalable businesses, self-storage. You found an undermanaged facility with low occupancy. Using the cash from your other businesses, you secured a smart loan, not to fund a lifestyle, but to acquire another cash-producing asset. You had learned the difference between good debt, money borrowed to buy things that pay you, and bad debt. This became your engine, a portfolio of boring businesses. Vending machines, laundromats, self-storage. Each one was an unglamorous cog in a machine that was quietly, relentlessly making you rich. You were building an empire not of glass towers, but of concrete, steel, and recurring revenue. Number 4, the fourth rule, build the fortress of silence. There's a reason you keep this all a secret. You learned that lesson the hard way, and it had a name. Dave. It was Thanksgiving. You had just closed on that first self-storage facility, a huge, terrifying, exhilarating step. Feeling proud, you let slip a vague comment at the dinner table about a good real estate deal. The mood shifted instantly. Later that evening, Sarah's brother-in-law, Dave, cornered you by the fireplace. He launched into a breathless pitch for a surefire app that just needed a small investment to get off the ground. Your relationship instantly became transactional and weird. You stopped being a person and became a role. The rich one. On the silent car ride home, Sarah turned to you. "We can never do that again," she said, her voice firm. "It changes everything." That night, the decoy budget was born. Your visible life, the house, the Toyota, the vacations, operates on a modest, believable budget that matches the professional you appear to be. Behind that is the real budget, a world of holding companies and trusts where profits are reinvested and assets are acquired. This separation isn't for tax evasion. It's for psychological and social survival. It allows your wealth to compound in the dark, undisturbed by the noise that visible wealth always attracts. Number 5, the fifth rule, harvest the unseen dividend, freedom. So what's the point? If you can't have the mansion, what's the reward? The answer came on a Tuesday afternoon, a call from your kid's school. The spring play was starting in an hour. In your old life, your old job, that would have been impossible. A wave of guilt, a hurried apology. But this time, you just closed your laptop. You were in the front row, the only parent there not in work attire. And you didn't miss a single line. That is the dividend. Absolute, uncompromising freedom. It's the quiet confidence of knowing you don't need your job. You can walk away from a toxic project without a second thought, because your survival isn't tied to a paycheck. It's listening to your friend Mark complain about an upcoming recession, feeling his genuine panic about his job and his high-interest car loan. You feel empathy, not fear. Your wealth is built on a diversified base of real, cash-flowing assets. That buffer doesn't just absorb shocks, it gives you the dry powder to seize opportunities when everyone else is running for cover. You see your peers chasing visible wealth, and you see the trap. They are prisoners of their own lifestyle, one bad quarter away from ruin. You, on the other hand, look ordinary, but are completely sovereign. Your choices are your own. The loudly rich buy things to feel a certain way. You've just built a life where you feel that way all the time. That is the true prize. The sixth rule, acknowledge the price of privacy. But this path isn't free. Fortresses, by their nature, can be lonely. The strange, unspoken burden of invisible wealth is the isolation. It's the night Arthur's email arrived, the one confirming the 9-figure balance sheet. A monumental win. You closed your laptop, walked out of your small home office, and found Sarah reading in the living room. She looked up, saw the look on your face, and knew. She came over and gave you a hug. "We did it," you whispered. "I know," she whispered back. There was no champagne, no party, just the two of you, standing in your very normal living room, sharing a victory that no one else in the world could ever know about. You looked out the window at the quiet tree-lined street. You have to solve your problems alone. You have to celebrate your wins alone. You learn to get satisfaction from internal validation, not external applause. The reward is the quiet knowledge of the security you've built. You've traded the dopamine hit of public praise for the deep, lasting peace of private stability. It's a price you've willingly paid. The seventh and final rule: redefine the meaning of rich. So here you are, back in the coffee shop, your book finished. You've mastered invisibility, started with ugly cash flow, and built a compounding machine from boring businesses. You fortified your life with silence, harvested the dividend of freedom, and accepted the quiet loneliness that comes with it. You now see that what society sells as wealth is a counterfeit version. It's loud, fragile, and built on a foundation of anxiety. It's a performance. You just opted out of the play. The goal was never the number. The $100 million was never the destination. It was the tool. The real objective was to build a life of resilience and autonomy, a life where your money serves you, not the other way around. You've discovered the real meaning of being rich. It's not the ability to buy anything you want, but the power to not have to do anything you don't want to. It's control over your time, your most precious and most finite resource. If this idea resonates with you more than flex culture, and you believe true wealth is about freedom, not flash, then like this video and subscribe. Share it with one person you know who will get it, because you've learned the ultimate secret. The richest person in the room is almost always the one nobody notices.